Hey, this is Mr. Ng going over Math 5 quiz number 1, taken sections A1 to A3, taken on September 21st, 2017. Directions: show all your work with the space provided and box answers where applicable. The following pattern above can be described as, and this problem says the number of rows. So I thought of the rows going in this direction, so this would be 1, and then this would be 2, and then this would be 3. Even if you did it the other way, you could have gone 1, that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or even if you did it this direction, that's 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it doesn't matter which direction you did it. You'll say that the number of rows, this one has 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're adding 1 there, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So there you have a adding, so your difference is 1, so that's arithmetic. Question number 2 says, write a numerical sequence to represent each given pattern. So if you continue this picture, it would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the picture would have a 5th row and a 6th row. 1C, circle. This would be an infinite because this pattern can keep going on forever. Those were 2 points. 1D, I didn't count. The reason why is vocabulary word is bad. If I said calculate the sum up to the 12th term, or calculate the sum of the first 12 terms, that would have been better. Or if I took out the word sum and I said calculate the 12th term, that's what would work here, but I didn't count that problem because it wasn't really clear. Alright, so if you look at here, this one doesn't say number of rows. I just added this part. It's the total number of boxes. Okay. Most students didn't ask me about it, so I figured you knew that. So I just count the number of boxes: 1, 3, 6, and this one is 10. So if you think about it, going from here to here is 2. Here there's 3, and there's 4. Now, although you are adding, it's not the common difference. It doesn't say D equals 2 or D equals 3, so the answer is neither. For both questions 1B and 2B, so both of these, I wrote, if you got 2 of those spaces correct, then I got 1 point, and then if you got all of them correct, you got 2 points. So if we continue this pattern there, you got 1, 3, 6, 10, and then 15, and then 21. That is a infinite because it keeps going on forever. 2D says calculate the sum of the first 6 terms. Okay, so first 6 terms, your n is equal to 6, right? I need 6 of these pictures, and because it's neither, that means you can't apply any of the formulas. None of the formulas actually apply. You can't use anything on the map because it's neither. So if you just continue out this list, you could just add them. I use some summation notation. I equals 1, so I'm starting with the first one, and I'm adding up to the 6th one. So 1 plus 3 plus 6, 10, 15, and 21. I get a total of 56. Fill in the blank squares so that each row and each column contain all the digits 1 through 4. Numbers and cages may repeat as long as they are not in the same row or column. So I'll just redo this problem. So if you got it wrong, that's why I have the second one there. If you got it right, then you don't have to use this one. I can only use the numbers 1 to 4. And here I'm looking for the freebies. So the darkened areas are called cages. So here's a freebie, has no plus sign for math operations. So I'm going to write a 1, and I'm going to have a 4 here. Now a lot of students came up to me and said, Mr. Ng, you can't repeat in a row, so I can't put 2 and 2. That's correct. So there's 2 other numbers, those are 4 and 1. But I can't put a 4 here, cannot put a 1 here, because those 4s repeat, so you have a 1 and then a 4. I need some other numbers here. Missing the numbers 2 and 3 here, and I needed to add up to 6. Let's see, let's try 2 and 3. Let's use a pencil, good idea. Two numbers. You can always guess sometimes and then re-erase if you need to. So I'm going to put 2 and 3 here because that completes the numbers 1 to 4. So I'm missing 2 plus 3 is 5, so I'm missing 1 here. I need two numbers that subtract to be 1. So this is not a negative 1, this is a subtract, and then their answer is 1. It doesn't matter what order. So the numbers I'm missing are 2 and 3, but I have a 3 here, so I can't put a 3 here, so I have to put a 2 and 3. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Here I'm missing a 4. So if I take away 4 from 11, I have 7. Well, that has to be only 4 and 3, and I can't put a 4 here. So the corner ones, you should kind of see, right? That's a cage. It's darkened in this area. Notice how they're in opposites on the same row or column. Just to finish this up, I need two numbers here. So I'm thinking the only numbers that are left are 2 and 1. I can't put a 1 here, so this will be my 2, and there goes the. I'm missing a 2. I'm missing a 3, and 2 plus 3 is 5. That side was worth 20, so first and last name and period was 3 points. And then you just add up all those points and you'll get 20. Turn to the back side. So on the back side I have this set here, -2, +4, -8, 16, and -32. What's happening is you're multiplying by -2. That's called the common ratio, so my ratio is -2. So circle it, says circle 1, the common ratio is -2. Each of those are 2 points. And it's a geometric because you have a ratio. Remember, if you can't see the pattern this way, you can always do this. You could just take the second one and divide it by the first one. 4 divided by -2 is -2. You can do that one more time. -8 divided by 4 is -2. Use your calculator. Alright, question, this question over here, this box right here. I have 60, 53, 46, 39, 32, and what's happening is you're subtracting 7 there. So arithmetic, it's arithmetic because when you have a common difference, differences plus and minus is -7. Okay. Question number 5C tells you the sum of the sequence for the first 10 terms to the left is, so they want you to take this, and then you want up the first 10 terms. Now, some of you just kept doing this and adding them up. That's fine. Show me that work. To use your formulas, the sum of an arithmetic finite series, so I'm adding, it has an end, right, to the first 10 in a series because I'm adding them all up. I'm going to write down this formula. My formula. Well, I have the first value, which is 60. Your n is the first 10 terms. An is your last term, which we don't have, so you would have to use the explicit formula because I don't have the 29th term, so you can't use recursive. So explicit is an equals a1 plus d times n minus 1. So your first value is 60, difference is -7, n value is 10. Order of operations here, 10 minus 1 is 9. -7 times 9, right? PEMDAS, then M and D. So -63, and then 60 minus 63 is -3. So my last term would be, my 10th term would be -3. Put that up here. So then I get 6 plus -3, which is 57. 57 times 10 is 570 divided by 2. The sum of the first 10 terms is going to be positive 285. It says 285. If you got just -3, I gave you 3 points because that's the last term. This is asking you for the sum. S for sum. Alright, this complete each row in the table. This was just taken from your packets. Complete each row in the table using the given information in that row. So the first problem gives you the recursive formula. So this is what I like to do. I like to actually write down the recursive formula for problem they give me right above it. So here it is, recursive, write that down. And you're going to recognize something. Here is the parentheses gn minus 1, and it's over here as well. So outside the parentheses is here, so your r value is 3. Okay, your r value is 3. Well, The explicit formula I was looking at, and that we did in the packets, is you write down the formula: Gn equals G1 times r to the n minus 1. And because we have the r value of 3, r value is 3, then you just substitute it in there. And you're just substituting in the information you already have. They already told you that the G1 value is 4, so you're going to put it in there. So the formula I need to get any term in our sequence is Gn equals 4 times 3n minus 1. So that's how you get your 1 point per box. Okay. Because I have a common ratio, it is geometric, and there you're just multiplying by 3. So everything in the box has to be correct in order to get 1. A couple of students missed that. That was the first 4 terms. Okay. The second one, they give you this information: an equals 5 plus 20 parentheses n minus 1, n 1 2 3, and so that's just telling you that terms keep going on. And if you match it up, okay, you see the parentheses for arithmetic, because there's 2 formulas there. There's only one that actually has a parentheses. It's this one. This one has no parentheses. Remember, this one you need to know the previous term. So I just write it above it. An equals a1 plus d parentheses n minus 1. And you realize this is the same. Equal sign is the same. This is different. So your first value is 5. That's how I got 5 there. Then your d value is 20. And then that's the same. Okay? So I did that so I can work on the recursive. So write down the recursive. You don't have the n value, so that stays the same. Equal stays the same. A minus 1 equals the same. And your d value changes to 20. That's what I needed, all of that, to get your 1 point. Because you have a common difference, d, that's arithmetic. And here all you're doing is then you are adding 20. Use your calculator. You have to have all 4 numbers correct in order to get the 1 point there. Alright, question number 8, probably the most missed free response question. Compute each geometric series. Compute just means evaluate, just means use the math operations. 2 plus 1, compute it, that is 3. Okay. So here you have summation notation. Summation notation just means you're going to be doing a bunch of adding. The index below tells you where to start. So start at I equals 1, and it tells you where to end, 4. And it gives you this, 6 to the I minus 1. So there's 2 things. It tells you first it's geometric. And if you didn't know that, it's geometric because, well, anything with a base to its exponent, that's talking about multiplication. So 6 is actually your common ratio. Okay, so there's a couple of ways you could do this problem. Let me show you the one to actually using this. You start with 1, so you put in 1 there. So you got 6, 1 minus 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. I equals 2. 6 to the 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. 6 to the first power is 6. If you don't know that, put it in your calculator. Pick 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. 6 squared is 36. And if you put in a 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. 6 to the third power is 216. You add them all up, you'll get 259. Okay. So let's say you didn't do that. Okay. Well, you could have used the geometric finite series formulas. I wrote both of them here. They look similar, but the main difference is right there. This one over here says use the first value, and this one tells you use whatever value you need in the future, like the 30th one or the 10th one. Okay, I'm going to use the first one here. So it says Sn equals G1 times r to the n minus 1. Actually, I wrote that wrong. That should be right there. So this is going to read your first value of your sequence of your series is 1, right? I did the math over here in that row. And then it says r to the n. So your r value is actually right here, which is 6. and then your n value is up there, is 4. So 1 times 6 to the 4th, 6 to the 4th is 1296 minus 1, which is 1295, times 1 is 1295. Then here's r minus 1, so 6 minus 1 is 5, and you divide those and you get 259. Now if you use the other geometric finite series formula, Sn equals Gn times r minus G1 all over r minus 1. Your Gn value is the 4th term, or the last term. That's what Gn means, last. And so that's 216. Just rewind it 45 seconds ago and you'll probably see that. And your ratio is 6 and your first term is 1. So you multiply those two, subtract 1. That gives you the same idea, 1295 divided by 5, and you'll get 259. All right, multiple choice. Which pattern describes the pattern? So I noticed that there's 4 here and then 6 across. And then there's 2 on the width and maybe a length of 6, and then I got 1 here. And then here it took away, and then so I looked at by counting up the number of circles. So I counted them up. 4 times 6 is 24, or you just count them. 2 times 6 is 12, 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3. So I've noticed I'm going from 24, 12 to 6 to 3. Now remember, you can't use division. So there, some of you guys are saying dividing by 2. Well, remember, dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. Okay? So because you're multiplying, that's a ratio. So each figure has half as many circles as the one before it. So that's why I got the word half. And your letter choice is B. Question number 10. Shelby's printer had 500 sheets of paper in it. So that's my starting. That's my first term. After Monday, there was 466 sheets of paper. So after Monday night, after the work day, she has 466, Monday. After Tuesday's day, she has 432, and after Wednesday, she has 398. If this pattern continues, how many sheets of paper will be left after Friday? So after Wednesday, the last one, I have 398. Okay, and the pattern I'm noticing is that she's subtracting 34. If I subtract 34 from Wednesdays, I get 364, which is their choice D, which is wrong. And then if I subtract it one more time, I get 34. I get Fridays, which is 330. So that side was worth 30 points. So 30 plus the 20 gives you the 50 points. Hope these corrections were helpful for you to do well on your test. Good luck.